Bring up that chart again on my Bloomberg. The idea that we were trading at almost par just a couple of weeks ago and have rolled down to 19 cents on the dollar. I just have a basic question. Why did no one really see this coming, Noel?
Well, I think the reason nobody saw it coming is because it didn't really necessarily need to happen. It was really sort of the hiring of Kirkland & Ellis, the association of that to restructuring, I think, caused a lot of fear within the vendor community. And, you know, as you may know, I mean, the lifeblood of the retail sector is really being able to kind of work with your vendors, and particularly into the holiday season for somebody like Toys R Us, making sure you're able to do that with payables, i.e. the vendors give you financing. Once that kind of goes away, it makes it tough for any retailer to sort of survive that sort of immediate liquidity crunch, which is what happened here.
No, when we read the obituary for Toys R Us, of course, the brand may well make a big comeback, even though they do go through bankruptcy. They might not disappear. When we read that obituary, do we read that Amazon killed Toys R Us, or do we read that a buyout back in 2005 killed Toys R Us because they drowned in their own debt and couldn't invest in the company?
Well, I think you read a little bit of both, right? I think, you know, it's interesting to note that, I mean, Toys R Us, you know, they were actually one of Amazon's early partners on the toys side back in 06, 07, and they kind of broke away. Toys R Us really actually has a great opportunity to be sort of the best buy of their sector, because you do have sort of survivors in these sort of single verticals. The problem is they never really developed that infrastructure, but certainly the debt was an issue. Part of the reason they don't have that infrastructure is because all the debt servicing costs prohibited them from investing in the capex they needed to really build this business for the future. So that's part of what this reorg's about.
Yeah, and let's just take a look for perspective what that debt looks like. If you come inside the Bloomberg here, it's CAST Go, and it just shows the purple is total capital leases, but this huge blue bar here is senior unsecured bonds, outpaces total capital. You got subordinated debt at about 7 times EBITDA. Noel, how does this shake out over the next, 12 to 18 months?
Well, I think they're probably hoping it's going to be quicker than 12 to 18, but I think it's going to get very complicated just because you have not only all that debt, but all that debt is scattered across all kinds of different pieces. You've got holding company, you got US, you've got this entity called True Taj, you got the property companies, et cetera. All those people are going to be in the pool fighting for value, residual value of what's left, particularly out of the property companies. So it's going to get a little bit convoluted here, but I think at the end of the day, you know, what you end up with is, at least in the US, you're going to end up with a slightly smaller retailer. I don't see them closing a ton of stores out of this. And then internationally, those operations aren't part of the filing, so those are all probably going to be okay.